What are you going to do with that money that was already appropriated?
Well, again, we're waiting for OMB guidance, and obviously they'll reach out and work with Congress on these funds. that have not been
OMB is
spent.
not working with Congress. The president is not working with Congress. You are not working with the Congress. We need to understand, if we are going to appropriate dollars, what it is that has happened. What is it that you propose to do with the billions of dollars that you have expropriated? If
Yeah,
you
again,
will?
that's a function, as you know, that's OMB has those decisions to make, and they'll have to work with you
then I guess you don't have
on
much
it.
control over your agency, Mr.
Well,
Secretary.
ultimately, we are also going to hire new people,
Let me just
including,
say,
as I've already.
you have,
well,
my time is short, Mr. Secretary.
so is mine, and that's why I want to tell you that
well,
we're
my
also
time
going
is
to bring in
short
people
here.
from USAID.
My time is short. I reclaim my time.
Welcome back to MAGA News Central. Today we're diving into a heated congressional hearing that featured Secretary Marco Rubio going head-to-head with Democratic lawmakers over foreign aid spending, government accountability, and America's priorities abroad. The exchange became so intense that it immediately started making waves across political circles. But the most revealing part wasn't the accusations. It was Rubio's response. Before we get started, hit that like button, subscribe to MAGA News Central, and comment below. Should America be spending billions overseas while so many problems remain unresolved here at home? Let's get into it.
A member. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I might quickly say that a while ago we had a briefing by USAID senior officials, Jim Cunder, Chris Milligan, and just a quote, what has been done was an 84% cut to USAID. It scatters the remnants of USAID across a dozen state bureaus and almost guarantees that our competitors will dominate in local competition. The fact is, people have been fired and agencies and programs have been terminated. Secretary Rubio, human lives have been lost. Extensive damage is done to the U.S. international standing under your watch. This would not have happened if the administration had followed the law and congressional intent. Congress appropriated foreign aid funding with a clear set of directives, yet with no notice to Congress. The administration has broken the law, completely dismantled U.S. Foreign aid, hijacked funding for the State Department and USAID at the behest of Elon Musk and Doge. I might just say, you don't have the authority, Elon Musk doesn't have the authority, the president doesn't have the authority, and OMB doesn't have the authority. The authority to appropriate funding comes from this body, the United States Congress, and it is so stated in the Constitution. You're now sitting on billions of dollars. This subcommittee, which appropriated that funding in the first place, has no idea of how you plan to use them. Secretary, how do you plan to spend your agency's remaining fiscal year 2025 money, if not as directed by the Congress?
Well, I think the president through OMB is going to work with you and the Congress on how best to, reset the funding levels for the new year and how to move those funds. And we await OMB guidance in that regard.
Well, I would just say for months we have been asking for a list of which programs were cut and why, and all we have received is this unintelligible spreadsheet, a sheet that does not seem to reflect reality. We need clear answers on how you need to plan to spend this year's funding, and asking for a commitment that you let us know, because you have terminated programs, you have fired staff. What are you going to do with that money that was already appropriated?
Well, again, we're waiting for OMB guidance, and obviously they'll reach out and work with Congress on these funds. that have not been
OMB
spent.
is not working with Congress. The president is not working with Congress. You are not working with the Congress. We need to understand, if we are going to appropriate dollars, what it is that has happened. What is it that you propose to do with the billions of dollars that you have expropriated? If you
Yeah,
will?
again, that's a function, as you know, that's OMB has those decisions to
then
make,
I
and they'll
guess
have to
you
work
don't
with
have
you
much
on it.
control over your agency, Mr.
Well,
Secretary.
ultimately, well,
According
we have
to
a lot of
public
control
reporting,
because
you have terminated more than 90% of USAID programs, 60% of programs at state. All are the firing of all our development experts in the next few weeks, and are preparing to fire hundreds more at the State Department. We need an accountability. And if we can't, I don't know, if we can't get it from the Secretary, then from whom are we going to get this accountability? It is your department.
Well, with all due respect, some of your numbers are incorrect. We have not cut 60% of the funding at the State Department. If you're referring to the budget request, that's different. There has not been mass layoffs at the State Department. I think there's been less than 200 people that have been ripped from the State Department. From the State
I'm talking
Department.
about, well, USAID. And
Oh,
now
well,
you
that's a
plan,
different one,
well,
right.
no, it's not a different issue. You now plan to take on, and the gentleman said you're going to scatter the remnants of
That's false.
USAID throughout the State Department. Who is going to make sure appropriated funds are spent properly?
Well, they're not going to be scattered. They're actually going to be consolidated in a couple of funds that deliver, for example, International Humanitarian Assistance Fund. We'll also have an increase to the Emergency Refugee and Migration Assistance
You
Fund.
mentioned previous secretaries who have moved in this direction, and I just want to say to you that they decided not to do it because it was ill-advised. 15% of the planned cuts, there's 15% planned cuts of state staff. Now, who is going to make sure that appropriated funds are spent properly if you have fired all the staff with experience overseeing the process? Will you personally be approving every expenditure? I know you have a lot of jobs already.
No, we're not. First of all, we haven't fired any experienced staff other than the people that were riffed out of the 2 divisions in the department. But other than that, I said at the State Department, there's been only under 200 people have been removed. Some have retired and so forth, but that's normal in any cycle. We are also going to hire new people,
Let me
including,
just
as
say,
I've already...
you have,
well,
my time is short, Mr. Secretary.
so is mine, and that's why I want to tell you that we're also going to bring in people from USAID.
My time is short. I reclaim my time. You have terminated key monitoring and evaluation programs. Allow us to account for the use of this funding. How does allowing the money to flow out the door while hamstringing your own ability to track that money make our government more efficient and prevent waste, fraud, and abuse? It's clear that from the administration and Musk that the process is ignorant of the purpose of foreign aid, utterly unprepared to manage their own dictates, taking a chainsaw to foreign aid with no concern for human lives or the broader consequences for our security, no plan for the future. I yield back. Thank you.
The hearing began with Democratic Senator Rosa DeLauro launching a series of sharp attacks against the administration's handling of foreign aid. She accused officials of weakening international programs, cutting funding, and failing to provide Congress with adequate transparency. According to DeLauro, these changes risk undermining America's influence around the world while leaving lawmakers with too few answers about how taxpayer dollars are being spent. But beneath the discussion about budgets and aid programs was something much bigger. This was really a battle over control. Democrats repeatedly emphasized that Congress controls federal spending and argued that the administration was moving too aggressively without sufficient consultation. For several minutes, it looked like Rubio was about to face another one-sided congressional grilling. Then he responded, and the entire tone of the hearing changed. Instead of playing defense, Rubio immediately challenged the accusations being made against the administration. He argued that many of the claims being presented were either exaggerated or lacked important context. When lawmakers pointed to staffing reductions and organizational changes, Rubio pushed back, saying critics were painting a misleading picture of what was actually happening. According to Rubio, reforms were being portrayed as chaos, consolidation was being portrayed as elimination, and efficiency was being portrayed as recklessness. The secretary insisted that the administration was not abandoning oversight or accountability. Rather, he argued that programs were being streamlined to reduce waste and improve effectiveness. And that's where the hearing became far more interesting, because now it wasn't simply Democrats questioning Rubio, it was Rubio questioning the assumptions behind their criticisms. Supporters viewed it as a rare moment where a cabinet official refused to accept the narrative being handed to him, and the confrontation was far from over. As tensions continued rising, it became clear that this debate was about much more than foreign aid. What Americans were really witnessing was a clash between two competing visions of government. One side believes programs should remain largely intact unless there is overwhelming evidence for change. The other believes every government program should constantly prove its value to taxpayers. Democrats warned that aggressive reforms could damage important international partnerships and weaken American influence abroad. Rubio and his supporters argued that government agencies should never be immune from scrutiny, restructuring, or reform, and that's why this hearing immediately grabbed national attention. It touched on issues that millions of Americans care about: government spending, taxpayer accountability, foreign aid, and whether Washington is prioritizing the interests of American citizens first. The hearing may have ended, but the larger debate is only beginning. Whether you agree with Marco Rubio or Rosa DeLauro, one thing is impossible to deny: this was not a routine hearing. It was a political showdown that exposed deep divisions over spending, oversight, and America's role in the world. Rubio's supporters say he dismantled the accusations and defended the administration's reforms. Critics argue lawmakers still deserve more answers. Now we want to hear from you. Did Marco Rubio successfully defend the administration's position? Or do Democrats have legitimate concerns about foreign aid spending? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest congressional clashes. political showdowns, and breaking developments right here on MAGA News Central. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.